Good evening and welcome back to another episode of the Daily O. I'm Ian Nickel. Let's get into our show. Earlier today, OSU closed campus because of unsafe weather conditions. Josh will tell us more about what the weather is looking like a little bit later. But now, let's take a look at what causes OSU to decide to cancel classes. On a regular snow day, there's a group of people that get on a call at about 4 in the morning to create a recommendation that'll give to University President Burns Hargis on whether or not they believe school should be canceled. Mike Robinson, OSU's chief public safety officer, said, quote, "It's an inexact science, but in a nutshell, that group gets together and considers everything we have to consider and then makes a recommendation, and he almost always goes through with the suggestion. From our group," end quote. OSU made the call today to close campus at around 2 p.m., and they are still evaluating whether or not to close campus tomorrow, as it seems the conditions may worsen overnight. In order to be eligible to vote in the presidential election, you need to be registered. Next, reporter Mackenzie Coker gives us all the details on where to start.
The first step in getting ready for any election is getting registered to vote. Oklahoma residents are eligible to vote at 18 years old, and there are two ways to get registered. First, you can register online by using the OK Voter Portal. When you fill out the voter portal and enter all your information, you'll print it, sign it, and then mail it off to your county election board.
If it's a new registration, you'll have to print that out and actually sign it and send it in or bring it in because we need a wet signature on new registrations.
And if the online application isn't your thing, you can fill out the paper application.
Or you can always come up to the office and fill out the paperwork. The post office and tag agencies also offer that.
We went to get it done in person, and I had to bring a lot of paperwork with me, but it was just at the local place in town for that. So we went in person.
If you're in Payne County, your application will come here to the Payne County Election Board office in Stillwater. One thing to keep in mind when registering is that Oklahoma is a closed party system.
What this means is that only voters who are registered with a specific party may vote in a primary election. However, the Democratic Party has allowed registered independent voters to vote in their primary and runoff elections in 2020 and 2021. The Republican Party only allows registered Republicans to vote in their primary elections. The rule is the same for all third parties as well.
Registering to vote is important because it is a way that you can exercise your constitutional rights, and it's a way that you can see yourself represented.
Even though the deadline to vote in the 2020 presidential election in Oklahoma has passed, there are still many elections to come.
For the Daily O, I'm Mackenzie Coker.
Thanks, Mackenzie. For more information on voting in Oklahoma, you can visit ok.gov/election. Now we'll throw it over to Josh for the weather.
All right, thanks, Ian. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Ocala Storm Studios with a breaking weather alert, starting with the ongoing winter weather situation across parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and even Texas. Now, there's a lot going on right here. There's these purple, blue, and pink boxes. So the purple ones to start off, this is an ice storm warning through at least 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And then over here in the blue boxes, that does include Stillwater. It's just that the purple boxes on top of it. This is a winter storm watch that will be continuing for the next 24 hours or so. Also, winter storm warning for parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle, Texas Panhandle as well. So we have a lot of winter weather ongoing across parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. So let's go to this evening and tonight. Again, we've seen rain pretty much all day, and we do have that potential for rain to continue through the rest of this evening. Maybe a break by about 9-10 p.m. before more activity moves in. We will be freezing for the next couple of hours and continuing through overnight. And when we get overnight, we'll be in the 20s, so it will be a little bit worse than what it is going on right now. So let's take a look at tomorrow afternoon. Here's my highs for tomorrow. Again, widespread rain activity across Oklahoma. Ice will continue to be a threat, as well as winter precipitation. High of about 33, but this isn't until at least 4 or 5 p.m. tomorrow. There is a potential that we will be in the 20s through at least almost noon. So there is the potential that we could possibly see hazardous conditions through at least early afternoon tomorrow. So just keep in mind that we might see the school have to make another decision early on tomorrow if the conditions worsen. Again, 80% chance for showers and potential winter precipitation tomorrow across a large portion of the state. And let's take a look at those forecasted ice accumulations. So right here in this pink area, we have the potential for up to 1 inch of ice. So we're going to be watching that very carefully. We're already starting to see some trees bending in the Oklahoma City area just because of the ice that's on the branches. Already seeing some of that activity here in Stillwater if you walk campus. So with that potential for ice, make sure that you're cautious while driving and walking on campus for any slick spots, especially since we're going to have a good amount of rain continuing into the overnight hours and into tomorrow. Over here further in the western portions of Oklahoma, up to about a ½ inch of ice is possible as well. We will also be watching potentially some power outages will be possible across Stillwater. The city of Stillwater has said that they're preparing for that potential as well just because of the ice on the power lines. So don't be freaked out if there is a blackout in your area. So on Wednesday, there we go. As you can see, continuing freezing temperatures in the western parts of the state. Here in Stillwater will be a little bit warmer here with a high of about 35, so just above freezing. Rain chances will still be around 60%, as you can see right behind me. Winds out of the north, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. But still, potential for some freezing activity early on in the day with these freezing temperatures that will continue overnight into Wednesday morning. So we're keeping a close eye on that as well. So with this winter weather, make sure that you are safe. Bundle up, stay warm. Be cautious outside if you're walking on campus. I'll step out of the way so you can see this. Make sure that you are cautious while driving, especially with slick spots. If you're going to be driving and there's a bridge, make sure that you slow down. Ice does occur on bridges because the air can get underneath and above it, making it freeze faster. So just make sure that you're following winter safety tips over the next couple of days. All right, so here's my 7-day forecast. As you can see, winter mix for the next couple of days. We're going to see these freezing temperatures continuing. We're going to see a little break from the freezing conditions here on Wednesday night, but another freezing temperature overnight hour type situation here Thursday night into early Friday. Rain chances will continue through at least Thursday. I'll step out of the way so you can see. Also, take a look at our Halloween forecast. We're going to get through this miserable weather, and then on Halloween, we're going to have a pleasant evening, a high of 62, mostly sunny skies. A few clouds will be possible. And then, unfortunately, we have to wind our clocks back on Sunday, so that's a look at the forecast for Sunday as well. So not only is it a pleasant day for Halloween, but it will be a pleasant day for the OU Texas game. And that reminds me, stick around for sports coming up right after this.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our, intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Time's right there. There we go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're going to make a right.
If we win this, is the one way to get to the playoffs. I know.
Welcome back to the Daily O. OSU was back in action finally Saturday, picking up a big win against Big 12 rival Iowa State. Alex Dusky has that recap of that game.
Oklahoma State is still undefeated after beating ranked conference opponent Iowa State 24-21 on Saturday. The Cowboys knew it would be a tough game going into it, arguably the toughest opponent they had faced yet this season, but they did not let the pressure get to them. The players appreciated the challenge coming off of a long 3-week break from playing.
It's always good to have like a competition to go against, because I feel like if you have a competition, that just makes you better. So just trying to outplay them, like in that type of theory thought, was really good for as a group, because we can just base ourselves like where we at right now and how can we get better.
Quarterback Spencer Sanders, who went out in the first game against Tulsa, finally returned and started. Although he was a little rusty, throwing 2 interceptions, Sanders ended the game with 235 passing yards and a touchdown. Players and coaches were happy to have him back in the quarterback position, not only for his arms, but also for his run game.
You want to use, what's a real strength of his, and that's being able to run the football. But he can throw it too, so it's a little bit of a blend in there. We needed it at the end to buy us some time, get us a couple first downs, move the chains, not put our defense in a bad position, and he was able to deliver, with his feet, so that was big.
The Cowboys defense played another great game, holding the Cyclones to 21 points, a great interception, and only allowing the Cyclones to convert on 3 third downs was amazing. Coach Gundy and defensive coordinator Jim Knowles knew how important the defense was in this game, especially knowing how strong of an offense Iowa State has.
But I thought we did pretty well today in terms of, just in the aspect that he's a great quarterback, one of the best in the Big 12, if not the country. So, we did a pretty good job, and I, take my hat off to the D-line today. So,
despite their win, Oklahoma State did not move up in the AP poll this week. The Cowboys are still the 6th best team in the country and one of only 4 Big 12 teams that are ranked. The Cowboys have another home game this Saturday against the Texas Longhorns. Tune in to Friday's show for a more in-depth preview of that game. For the Daily O, I'm Alex Dusky.
Thanks, Alex. The Pokes season will continue Saturday with a Halloween matchup against the Texas Longhorns. That's at 3 o'clock on Fox. Horns down. The World Series is almost over after the Dodgers picked up a win over the Rays in Game 5 and now have gone up 3-2. The series was even after a Game 4 when a crazy sequence started by a bloop single led to a walk-off run for the Rays. Game 6 is scheduled for tomorrow night. Check back Wednesday as we break down the winner of that series. In what has to be a trend for the 2020 NFL season, another big star is out for the season with an injury. Odell Beckham Jr. is out for the season after suffering a torn ACL yesterday against the Cincinnati Bengals. On the opening drive, Beckham was caught up and went down. He left the game without even recording a single stat. Cowboys quarterback Andy Dalton suffered a head injury after taking a big hit as he was going down in a slide. Dalton, who was filling in for the injured Dak Prescott, will now be evaluated for his own injury. Washington linebacker John Boystick, who dished out the hit, was thrown out and will potentially face suspension. That's all we have for you today. Make sure to keep up with us on social media at the DailyO_TV. You can also watch our show on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and on Suddenlink Channel 112. We'll see you Friday. For the Daily O, I'm Ian Nickel. Stay warm.